throwing bodies through the wall. As well as, to be honest, like, that's where I met you. Was the first time was over at Altones, the first Halloween show.
Yeah.
So,
Once again, it's like I said, it's one of those things that, like, now, I mean, me and my wife just had our, wedding party there, and Annie and the staff at Altones are just so A+. They went above and beyond everything that me and my wife expected, but also they do that every show. I feel like every show you go to, Annie's out there being Annie, being a sweetheart like she always is. Dwayne and Dalton are always trying to, give those guys good shows, and I think they put on good shows. The Stoner Doom and Metal Fest coming up here in May of next year. Yeah, round 3, which I'm so excited for Dwayne and Altones in general, because I know it does good business for them. But I think it's cool that you're holding it there as well too, because it gives another venue that like I said, I feel like a lot of people don't give it credit because it is kind of far and out of the way, but it's a well worth drive, and it's a drive worth, like, just having fun and stuff like that. Like, are you going to be there for the Battlefront show?
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, that's January 4th, Battlefront Pro Extreme. And I'm excited for that. But once again, like I said, it's just Altones and how Altones makes everyone feel at home.
It's growing as it is, and I want it to be like the home from home. People could say, now people in my town will talk to me about the LMG when they grew up. The LMG was definitely a spot where people went out and had fun, music and thrashed. And for me, growing up now, it was, I got a couple shows, and now Altones has just it's grown to home. It was the first show where I got to locally mosh with people and connect with friends and family and former friends that came back around. But, like, to throw it now where it almost all began when we turned the door open and they opened the door to us. Such a great staff, such a great people.
Yeah, man.
Cannot wait to. I want to pack the place out. If it packs up to 8 people, great. If it packs more,
yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah, man.
It's gonna be fun.
I just I don't know. I get excited thinking about going to Altones. Sometimes I enjoy playing venues, but sometimes you get that one place where you're just like, we're playing there. Yes. Oh my God. And, it's just
wait.
like, yeah, it's like being at home. And, I live in Massachusetts, but to think about, Altones is my Connecticut home. It's always for real. And like I said, it holds a special place for me and my wife right now. Especially everything. And I love that. So with that being said, man, we're going to get to what we really, really came here for.
The nitty-gritty stuff, guys.
Exactly. The down and dirty, the moshed potatoes themselves will be moshed right now, as me and Josh are going to get ready to give you our top 5 heavy bands. Josh is going to give you 5 heavy bands. I'm going to give you 5 heavy bands. And then we're just going to leave it up to you guys to decide whose list is better or who's got the better jams. Now, like I told Josh, we've got some qualifying rules, okay? To be a heavy band, you cannot sing, okay? And then we're also going to try to give you guys a song, maybe to kind of put you in a direction where you feel like, okay, well, you said this band, what should I start listening to? So me and Josh are going to list off a band. So Josh, are you ready?
I'm ready. All
right, Josh, give me, because you're the guest here, we're going to start with you. Give me your number 5 heavy band.
So at the moment, it's been a definitely process to pick, but I think my number 5 heavy band has got to be. It's got to be Kublai Khan.
Ooh, I like it. I like the pick. Okay, give me some reasons.
So I saw Kublai Khan back when they were touring with the Acacia Strain and a bunch of bands, and they wrote this record called "Balancing, Surviving, and Happiness."
Oh yes,
and that record just had songs that were just off the chart, and it grew, and they've grown into a band that could headline and a band that supports, and they have a new record out. I am digging it. I have to finish it because I just repeat cycle, but honestly, got me into them is the song called "The Guilty Dog," and it's just a nasty, get down in your face song, Maj song. And it just brings back good memories.
Nothing wrong with that, man. So I'm going to hit you with my number 5, which is Martyr Defiled.
Oh.
Okay?
I haven't heard that.
These guys are first of all, I love overseas metal bands. Bands that are from different parts of the world, because you get to hear their perspective and their twist on what bands are doing in the United States. And this is another great example. Their first record I was really, really into, and it's an amazing record. But their next record, I don't know, they kind of seemed like they were trying to go like a little bit metalcore and stuff like that. But that first record for me was they standard. It was just like they walked in the room and they were just like, oh yeah, by the way, we're a metal band, and then they sucker punched you in the mouth and was just like, here's our riffs. And the song I think you should check out is No Hope. It's probably one of my favorite songs next to the song Lucifer, which is the first song on the album. And just, first of all, heavy breakdowns. The lyrical content is so dark, so brutal, so heavy. I just love every aspect of it. And that's my number 5, Martyr Defiled. There you go. Josh, hit me with your number 4.
All right, number 4. Am I swimming yet across the water? Because you got me over there. Oh, man. Right now, let's see. I think my number 4 heavy band that I've got to go with today is going to be Nails.
Ooh. That's a unique pick.
Nails is just angry music.
Yeah.
And it's not for everybody, but for me it is. They came out and they played Worcester, upstairs Palladium. I swear, I feel like 2 or 3 people went out in the ambulance because how aggressive it got. Yeah. The guy in the front row threw his shirt off, and they started screaming and getting loud and just
aggressive,
angry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's angry metal for those that like it.
Yeah, those guys are like Bloodbather, and Jesus Piece. Oh. Those guys bring a type of violence to music that just live is it's a sight to see. Mm-hmm. It really is a sight to see. It's one of those things where like it doesn't matter what part of the room you're in, you're probably gonna get hit.
I've seen Jesus Piece at the Cave in West Haven with Sanction.
That's interesting because that's a small spot there.
It was a fucking banger show, though.
It was. I'm sure it was.
Oh, yeah. And people went across the room. If anyone's seen the YouTube, go on YouTube, check up Jesus Piece. He kicks his guitarist off stage.
Holy shit. Yeah.
But for Nails, the song that got me going has got to be God's Cold Hands, or it's got to be You'll Never Be One of Us. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because the heavy, just the riffs, the parts and the breakdown part of it, just during You'll Never Be One of Us, just to start, he just sounds angry. You just want to run across the room and just tackle somebody.
Yeah, hit somebody in the face, yeah.
All right, Blue, it's back to you.
All right, so my number 4, I'm going back a little throwbacky, Knights of the Abyss. So I'm starting to see a trend. You definitely went in some different aspects with your heavy bands. I kind of stuck to some bands that I really just I listen to on a weekly basis. I at least listen to, and Knights of the Abyss, Juggernaut is one of those, that record that I want to listen to all the time, especially because of the way the intro is. It is so just disgustingly heavy, that breakdown. And you got to think these guys have been around since like the beginning part of, kind of the deathcore scene, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And the song I really, really love is the song Dragon Pie. I don't know what it is. I've heard different versions of the song, and right before the breakdown, which I will not repeat because it's a little vulgar. about taking a chainsaw to a certain part of a woman. The breakdown is very heavy.
We're not talking like Dyer's Murder chainsaw song.
No. This one's a little rough.
So go check it out, guys.
But no, Dragon Pie. Definitely check out the song. And every time I've ever hear, I'm sure the one that's on the one I heard on Spotify right before the breakdown, they make fun of Jay-Z. It's like, it's the rock, baby. It's hilarious. Oh. And then the breakdown hits. It's really funny. Oh. So all right, Josh, we're up to number 3. What is your number 3 heavy band? Hit me with it, Josh.
Heavy band. There's a lot out there, and these guys have been kicking it for a little bit now, and they've surprised me with it. Number 3 has got to be Varials.
Ooh, yes, they've been hitting in a way. At first, it's one of those bands that a lot of people talk about, and you're just like, well, I don't know why everybody's talking about them, and you want to give pushback, but then you hear them execute, and you're just like, yes.
So, just like in the same boat almost as Jesus Piece, but these guys have toured the small group. They were around with Kublai Khan back when like the Worcester had the big metal fest, and they came out of nowhere. They're playing with Currents and everybody, and on Broken Wings, and Last 10 Seconds of Life was headlining. Oh, well, they came on and they blew me away with 6 songs, and now they've written a new record. And to be honest, my favorite song by them, it has a little bit of guest vocals in it, but it's got to be Emperor of Dirt. Just the fast pace to it, and then just the drop. And you just gotta. Oh. So yeah, Varials, keep it going, guys. I'll keep jamming you loud and proud, and if it's not that one, gotta go old school with it. Stigmata.
Yeah,
such a good song. All right, it's back to you, Blue.
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with my number 3. And this one's gonna get kind of confusing because some people are gonna confuse this. I'm saying Suffocate, not Suffocation, because a lot of people get those two bands confused.
Yep.
But Suffocate, the deathcore band.
Yep.
And for me, what I love about this band is they're melodic while still being heavy, and the lyrical content speaks to me, especially when it comes to like, you know, times when you're angry and just upset at the world. They definitely fit that way. But also the other thing too is the vocalist is so amazingly talented. He's got great highs. He's got brutal lows. They just do something for my soul that just not a lot of heavy bands these days get you on so many different aspects. You know, sometimes you'll get bands that like the lows are really good and then they do good chugging or good breakdowns or whatever the case may be, or whatever appeals to you as as someone who's looking for something heavier. But Suffocate just does something for me. They're not my number 1 for a reason, but they are strong. And while I say number 3, what I really mean to say is like 1B, okay? Because my next 2 bands are like, they're interchangeable for 1 and 2. They could have gone either way, but yeah. I went with my number 1 for a reason. But anyways, so to give you a song you should listen to from Suffocate, not Suffocation, is Let the Water Rise. And let me tell you something. Listen to the song in its entirety. Listen to the build from the beginning of the song all the way to the breakdown. And if you have not been taking on a musical heavy journey, it's not for you, man. It's not for you. Get away from the pit. Okay, go listen to indie music. Go do something else that's soft. You know, like pet a cat or something.
Go listen
because this is not for you. If you don't enjoy this as a musician, but also as a musician who loves heavy music, I've got some questions for you. I'm sorry. I'm really passionate about Suffocate. Like, sorry, I love those guys. So, Josh, we are getting down to the dirty, okay?
We're talking about the top 2 right here.
All right.
And this interchange.
Your number 2, yeah. Number 2. What's your number 2? Hit me with it.
This one grew out of nowhere, but I appreciate my buddy Ricky hitting me up on this one when we went to go see him. Number 2 is the guys in Traders.
Ooh.
The deep fried band from the South.
Yes. I've gotten several chances to see those guys, especially in the South. Those guys are super good. Very good.
A little story about them. They were heavy, and they took a little break, but now they've returned. They returned, and they did a little tour with Signs of the Swarm. Oh man, and that place was blowing up in New Hampshire in the backwoods. It was like throwing log mills at people, windmills. It was crazy.
I bet.
It was just, and then I